We have BDM Appreciation Week coming up at the beginning of April, and what that is our subscribers, we call them BDMs, they go on to tomanddan.com, they signed up through our website.
Yeah.
Easy to find. There's a love meter. You pick your monthly payment from $1.95 to $10.95.
And you get extra shows. I mean, you get an older show, and we give you some commentary on the front of that. We also hide some pretty weird stuff that might be going on in our lives.
We tell a lot more personal stuff on the BDM show because it's a curated, smaller audience of. I mean, I say smaller. There's thousands of BDMs, but
maybe we're kidding ourselves by hiding those things in there. But there are still tons of people listening.
But it's like talking to our friends.
It's
like it's not public. It's behind a paywall, and to get behind that paywall, it's very inexpensive. Like I said, $1.95 to $10.95. You make the decision. And anybody who is a BDM, we do appreciate you guys because you guys are the lifeblood of T&D Media.
My absolute favorite people to broadcast for.
Yeah, and to show our appreciation, we offer a $5 T-shirt. It's going to be up right before April because we need time to produce them.
We need you to pre-order it.
Yeah, so we pre-ordered this $5 T-shirt that the Danger Brains make. They gave us an awesome design.
And then Tom does what is his favorite thing to do in the world, which is to plan a party.
Yeah. And then
I'm kidding. It's very difficult to plan parties. But we get to plan the best one because it's for you guys, all the members.
Yeah, so at the end of Appreciation Week, after you guys have gotten all your shipments of your gifts and your $5 shirt, the gifts are from the sponsors.
And some surprises.
And some will have more gifts than others, and it's kind of random. Then we do this appreciation party, which we've kind of locked down, this is the first time we've talked about it. By the way,
are you going to say it?
We got Jeff and Casey Howell.
We
performing.
do. Like now, if that's honestly, man.
Yeah.
An evening with our two buddies, Jeff and Casey Howell.
And
I'm so stoked about this. And we've never done a Jeff Howell show, have we?
No. This will be the first time.
This is a Tom and Dan first.
This is April 11th. We can't tell you when or where, the time-wise and where it's at. But if you're a BDM, you'll get an email invite.
You'll get an invite.
And we haven't sent the invites out yet, but you'll get an invite.
Yeah, so don't freak out. None of this is out yet. We're just kind of, priming the pump and letting you know now.
But you have to be a current subscriber.
Yeah.
There's a lot of subscribers that have let their membership lapse. You won't get the email because we only send it to active subscribers. Anyway, then because Jeff Howell has always had that, dog show joke, we have a dog show performer.
An actual dog show.
Yeah.
It's been a dream of mine, by the way, to have an animal act at one of our events.
Yeah. There's an animal dog show involved. There are unicycle juggling and hula hoops.
From what I understand, two beautiful Russian women.
Yeah.
From what I understand, I heard Tom talking to a beautiful Russian on the phone yesterday. This is no BS. I am not kidding you. He's talking to a lady that I believe worked with a Russian ballet.
Yeah. And this all free.
Yeah.
And this party's for BDMs only, and you have to be a subscriber to get the email invite, but we're just giving you a kind of a sneak peek.
I so want to tell you where it's at, but I can't. I can't tell you.
We're still building it.
But you'll love it. You'll love where it's at.
But we always do something ridiculous like that for BDMs every year. The past 2 years, we did a whip show. The year before that, we did
a Hawaiian luau.
A Hawaiian luau, fire dancers.
Fire dancers,
and so we try to, we appreciate the BDMs, and that's, all it takes is a monthly subscription, and you get free shows, and we're going to do another get-together later on this year.
And if this sounds like something you'd be interested in and you already support the show, come on over, man. We'd love to have you, and to current BDMs that are just, listening to this, hey, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
We love you guys. And
you'll get the invite soon.
I honestly cannot wait to tell you where it is, what we're doing, and wait till you see it. It's just going to be so, so ridiculous. So thank you guys, and enjoy your ACT Best Of.
Sign up at tomanddan.com.
You want to know something that makes me mad? My wife has pain pills in the house that are hers, and she's hidden them. Because she knows the biker's looking for them.
She knows the monster she married.
Where are those pain pills? I got to find them.
I think the barrels, if they're typically in schools, it's for the nerdo kids that look at their parents and be like, I'm just going to steal these and turn them in. So
that's how you get killed as a child. If you steal daddy's Oxycontin.
So,
but it's affected the dad who just had surgery who actually needs it and their kid doesn't know any better and just steals all their pain pills.
Yeah, kids are dumb.
But he's been on it for
10 years.
For so many years, and he's fallen asleep at dinner. Come on, Kenny.
I dated a girl. I went over to her house, and her dad, he was like, we're just sitting there he's just casually talking to me, and he's just running down how many oxys he takes a day, and it's like 17 in the morning, and then like 13 at night, and then he's sitting there and he's watching TV with me, and I'm waiting for her to come down, and he's smoking a cigarette and falls asleep. Falls asleep with a cigarette in his hand.
Isn't that like how?
That's what I want. I want that level of comfort. That's a level of comfort I've never. I used to smoke for 20 years. I never fell asleep smoking.
So they got me in on the procedure on.
Sounds awesome.
Your sleeping breath has smoke coming out. That's awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
God.
It's like involuntary smoking.
How are your fingers still out?
You know what's funny is that the cigarette would go out before it got to his fingers. It's almost like he knew, or the cigarette was. No, don't worry. These cigarettes have been engineered to not burn your fingers when you fall asleep taking Oxycontin.
Haven't they proven that that's how some house fires got started?
Yes.
That someone fell asleep and it fell off of their fingers
Oh,
and
yeah.
onto the stack of newspapers?
I know somebody cut their house on fire smoking. Yeah, I know. That's a thing.
And you can't feel the pain burning your legs up because you're pain pills.
That's true.
That's what happens.
Well, they got me in on a procedure on this upcoming Friday the 13th.
Will you call in?
Oh, man, you're doing the laser pee-pee hole on Friday the 13th?
Oh, my God.
They got me in there. But they said so.
Freddy Krueger,
the whole procedure, they're like, yeah, that night's going to suck and maybe the next day, but like a couple days later, you can get back to normal operations. And I'm like, are you sure? Because I got this thing up in my pee hole, like that's whatever. And the guy's like, yeah, you could go to the gym, you can do housework, like whatever.
You can do whatever. You can skydive. You can climb that. You can do like that Netflix. Climb a building.
The one thing that I don't know, and I do need to talk to him about, I'm like, okay, well, what about some fun time if I got this thing in me?
Oh, nothing stops you from that.
Oh, they tell you, yeah.
No, but I'm saying it's like, is that gonna mess up its positioning? Like, okay, let me say this. I know it's not on the external parts, it's way up in there, but still, I don't want to like jostle something bad.
You're gonna never be able to do that again.
Here's the thing: they're so scared of lawsuits. I think it's pretty standard nowadays. All medical procedures, like rarely.
It's 2026. The guy was telling me, and it's like, had you come in even like 15 years ago, it would have been way more of a process and procedure.
I think my dad had these, and I remember he had one. And I think that it was just like you just waited. And he would just go about his day. Like, I can remember him going and working his, he's an over-the-road salesman. He did that, and he still had that, pain. And then he'd even go to softball that night with his church softball. He's playing softball, and then he'd come home, and then he'd pass it. You'd hear it, and then he'd be done with it.
Because it's not constant. Like, right now, I'm feeling great, but, in 30 minutes, I could be keeling over. It's like the example I use, and is so obscure, is Hans Moleman in The Simpsons when he gets hit with the football and the nards, and he just, tips over. I'm like, instead of a football, it's the kidney stone. Like, everything's fine, and then all of a sudden I just keel over and am immobilized.
What's weird is there's that much, I guess your body has evolved to have a lot of nerve endings in there, because there's some organs that have, like your liver, I believe, it doesn't have any nerves in it. So it's like, it doesn't necessarily hurt. It gets swollen and big and push it, but it's like, and so there must be a lot of nerve endings right there, and your kidneys, maybe to alert your body that you have a problem.
And it's all connected, so it doesn't just hurt in the side and the back area. It's that feeling where if you get hit in the crotch as a guy and you get that gut pain.
It's a heaviness.
Yeah, and it that's the feeling, because it's all connected to everything down there as well. So it's like, not only is my side hurting, it really just felt like, I got jackass Johnny Knoxville kicked in the nards, and that sort of feeling.
Well, I'm proud. I'm brave. It's very brave of you to come on our show and reveal this. And a lot of people deal with this.
Yeah, it was funny when I first got it.
No, I'm being serious. A lot of people do deal with this.
Well,
kidney stones. I am making some jokes too, probably more than normal, because this sort of stuff does make me lightheaded. I'm such a baby when it comes to describing body parts and things going wrong with them that I start to get a little.
It's the passing it that I thought was crazy, because it's like that was the common thing before they were able to ultrasound or scope with the lasers or whatever, because they don't want to cut your kidney open and poke it out with tweezers.
Just stop.
But
what are you doing?
I imagined it reminded me of that scene in Seinfeld where Kramer had it, and he's just spazzing and screaming in the locker room or the restroom.
I think that I may have had one of these. right.
I think you've had a lot of things that you don't know, just because A, you're not very observant. Yep. B, you're not a complainer. And C, I don't know, for instance, getting you to do like a body scan meditation where you activate different parts of your body. I don't know if you could do that.
No, I don't.
I don't think that's for you, man.
Yeah. Like,
I don't think you feel things.
And one time I remember I was like go number one, and then I felt this extreme pain, like why to the point where I thought it was an STD, but then I realized
frog pajamas. How dare she?
And
but I was able to rule that out because I've only been with one woman. So it was like
immediately he emails his buddy Dan to get him some high level antibiotics that he was going to sneak to his wife.
This is 20
it's in
years.
the files. It's in the files.
Wait a minute. I need to investigate this Fernando fella.
And my diet was extremely poor.
Yeah.
Like I was drinking like Big Bang energy drinks at the radio station
Buku.
Buku
energy, and then you'd have
Buku.
a BMT, Subway BMT, and a Buku.
Yeah. I was just eating like horrible alcoholic.
We both did. We both did.
And then that happened, and then I was like, yeah. And then I was like, what the hell? And I was like, I better not tell anybody about this. That's the thing. I get nervous and scared that I did something wrong.
He gets scared.
No.
He
and then I don't tell nobody.
I know you don't want me to say this.
This is when I was a kid.
I'm not going to say the whole thing, but I remember the first time you came to me at the radio station. You were like, "Oh man, my testicles are jet black," and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, well, "I didn't even know." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I injured myself. I injured my testicles. They're jet black." I'm like, ah.
Yeah.
And you didn't. You were freaking out a little bit.
Yeah. I was.
Didn't you fall into something?
Don't go to the doctor. Don't go to the police. Don't go nowhere.
So he told me, and I'm like, and he wasn't. I'm not going to look at him, and he's not going to show him. But he had to reveal to somebody that he bruised himself horribly.
But then it does go away, and it cost me nothing. So that's the moral of the story.
So we can't argue with you at all.
If you never did, because I was going to ask you next, because my wife is involved into the medical system. and she,
what does that mean?
Well, I'm just saying she's going to the doctor and like getting her all the things, and then every time she goes to the doctor, they're like, "Oh, you gotta go.
You got a thing.
You gotta go to another doctor or whatever the hell. Like, you should get checked. It's this age, blah blah blah, whatever the hell." And then it's an endless cycle. And then the insurance are like, "Oh, doesn't pay for it." And then like even with her knee, the doctor's like, physical therapy. She goes to physical therapy, and then the physical therapist is like, "Yep, you only paid this copay," and she pays that, and then she gets a bill for everything else. and then she's like, "What the hell?" And then I'm like, "That's your fault. It's your fault for getting involved in this racket." And anyway, so how's your medical insurance? Because I know you're self-employed.
Yeah, so it's good because the kidney stone is something that the insurance company would rather just deal with right away, because the alternate is like, let's say I don't pass it. Well, now I just have a shutdown kidney, and then trying to deal with a failing kidney is infinitely more expensive. Well, yeah, there's that.
You know, I'm just saying that's more expensive for them.
Yes, and then you die. Yes.
Oh, they don't want you to slowly die.
The inefficiencies of it. So I went to the walk-in ER, and basically they had the CT scan, and when I went to like a urologist for a follow-up, they're like, yeah, we have a QR code. They could look at your images via QR code.
They're back. QR codes are back, better than ever.
And the urologist was like, no, we need the CD, the physical CD with the burned image. I'm like, the QR code's literally right in front of you. Just like you could literally open it up and look at it. He goes, no, we have to put it into the CD-ROM drive and extract it. And I'm like, what is this? Like, it's the year 2026. How are we not just doing everything digitally?
Is the reason, because they're so protective of medical information and HIPAA and that's like, is that only due to embarrassment? Or is there some other reason you want to protect that information? Like, can some corporations use that against you?
So, according to them...
Well, to not cover you, right? If insurance got wind of something, right? Like,
well, here's the thing. The reason why their systems can't download the files, like their system is set up like the old nuclear things on the floppy disk, where it's like, no, our system
can't be hacked.
Our system can only accept physical CDs, and then we import that. But here's the thing, it's going on a server, it's going on the whatever, it's just they don't have the technology to take an online QR code video and extract it to their internal system.
And that's a lot of things. I mean, like, we're in a lot of trouble right now.
It's mostly because they're just behind
with our airplanes. Like, all of our airports, all of our flight tracking tracking, software that we're currently using right now. This was a thing, I want to say like 2 or 3 months ago, right before Christmas. They were talking about how, like, we are so behind the times on all of our airport safety software that it needs a major overhaul, and we just can't do it because we're too big, too many planes rely on it. And they're like,
we can't shut down the system to do an overhaul because everything.
Can't do it.
It was something like, 10 years ago, our entire nuclear arsenal was run off of 8-inch floppy drives.
Like, I think a lot of it still is. They've tried to modernize a lot of it.
But the process it takes to do that without accidentally setting it off, is also a thing.
And you also,
I'm an analog guy.
You have to make it a closed system so it can't be hacked because, like anything that even lends itself to be hacked, it could cause the deaths of so many people, like especially like the FAA and all the air traffic controllers. Like if someone was able to hack in and shut it down,
you can't take the chance.
So mass destruction. So it's like you have to close the system off, and then there's like it's worked this well.
Well, the new one you create has to almost be a one of one from ground up. It can't be. Yeah. It can't be like, we'll just take this and add a few things to it. No, this has to be a completely original piece of software that's unhackable, that can be easily distributed to everybody else to modernize what we're doing, and that's so hard to do.
I do want to do a side note. I see how much time we've been recording. Going back to Subway BMT.
Hold on, let me tell you something. You don't do my job when you're here. You don't do my job when you're here.
Mind your business.
Yeah. You know what? I like it. You want to take a shirt
you don't tell us how long we're going.
I don't tell you how many to put in your mouth at the factory.
Go on. I can't say that.
I know. I just wanted to say it.
Well, I didn't want to just go on another long-ass story, and
No, I love your long-ass story.
I like at the D factory it involves someone. Anyway. I was like, why is that involved at all?
Hey, you know what's interesting about that?
We're trying to pump them out of here.
Did you know that the D factory, here's an interesting fact, no HR there.
It's quality control, Tom. You got to test it out. You got to test it out and make sure it's good. You just knocked off your glasses like an old man.
That's fun.
No, so Subway BMT, probably the dumbest name for a sandwich ever.
What's it stand for?
Bigger, meatier, tastier.
No, that's not it. That's not the original name. Oh, my God, I could kick you out of the studio.
I thought it was bigger, meatier, tastier.
That's what they changed it to after they were trying to get Jared off their body. It was Big Meat Trio.
See, that I would accept.
It was originally
I'll accept that.
It was originally Big Meat Trio, and then Jared got all over him, and they're like, we got to do something. Get Charles Barkley in here.
Wait, so they decided bigger, meatier, tastier was a better option?
Ricky got it, too. It is Big Meat Trio. Good job, Ricky. That means you're a trash person like me, and you ate a lot of BMTs like me and Tom when we were fatter.
But what's weird is every other sub there, it's like, it's the Italian, it's the meatball, it's the, sweet onion chicken teriyaki.
Oh, I know all about Subway, because I used to get way. Do you remember the veggie patty?
So why is the one sandwich the only one with a wacky nickname?
Cold Cut Trio. The original was Cold Cut Trio.
But that's Cold Cut Trio. That describes it.
BMT. Then there was there's another one that's like a spice. They called it a spicy BMT, wasn't it?
Then there's the Italian, and then they did used to have the pizza sub too. Where it was just pepperoni.
That's all my brother's eat.
Yeah.
So,
God bless him.
Imagine the meeting that Subway had. let's just think about this for a second, right?
I love thinking about this.
Because at one time, Subway was the biggest food franchise in the world. Like, it surpassed McDonald's.
Yeah.
So, like, they were doing well.
And I thought that their sandwiches are good because I'd never had a sub sandwich ever. And my mom and I drove up there and we got one. And we're like, yo, this is the future. And I was all in.
And then, so imagine the board of directors, like the biggest thing going, like, everybody's getting rich, right?
Do you remember the company? I went to Subway so much because I was such a hillbilly, and I thought this was like what you ate in L.A.
The health food. Which, by the way, they were probably all laughing. They're like, health food.
I know that. You know why I thought it was health food? Because on the cups, the parent company that owned it used to say Doctors Associates.
Yeah.
You remember that? If you go and research Subway, it used to say on the bottom, like, the parent company that owned them was like Doctors and Associates LLC.
And they also did a thing where it's like, this footlong sub is 500 calories. The triple Whopper with extra cheese and bacon is 1,000. I'm like, well, that's not comparing the right things, but you're making it seem good.
Yeah, 100%. And they're probably laughing all the way to the bank. They're like, we're selling the same processed garbage that everybody else, but we're healthy. And then, okay, things are going well. Then they got Jared out there. He's holding his pants.
He's a real success story, this guy.
He's like, look at this nerd, lost a bunch of weight. He's like every other nerd dad in the United States. And then, but things are printing money. They're like, they're laughing in the corporate board meeting.
Who knew that Veggie Delight was the flavor of a pedophile?
And then they call an emergency board meeting, and they're all in there like, what happened? And some guy has to deliver the news that their spokesperson...
I hope they did it like George Bush when he's reading to the kids. The president of Subway, he's like reading to some kids, and they go and they whisper it. They're like, sir, Jared's been compromised. He's a pedophile.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they're like, I have some bad news. We have a problem with our spokesperson, Jared. What was Jared's last name?
Fogel.
Jared Fogel.
I met him at Clear Channel.
I worked with him at a high school. I told this story before.
That doesn't surprise me.
And then, so I'm sure, I'm sure a lot of the other board members are like, all right, okay, we've dealt with this before. This is fine. We could,
What did he do?
What DUI? We talking like domestic.
Slap his wife around. We can get around that.
Yeah, domestic violence.
Yeah.
Like the NFL's been doing this for years. Sweep this under the rug.
Oh, his son's fat and he made him run behind his car and child abuse. We can handle that. We can handle child abuse.
Yeah. And then they delivered the news that they can never handle.
No.
The guy is a pedophile. I'm gonna laugh, but it's the worst. It's the worst
we
news.
Still joke about it now.
Like, could you imagine all instant diarrhea? Everything was going so well, and it's like this is the literal worst thing that could happen to your business. Like all other things could have been handled.
You know what I feel worse for?
And then they're like, Big Meat Trio. Here comes the jokes. And then just avalanche.
My dad.
Oh.
Yeah, everybody very much was like cold cut, $5 footlong, right? Everybody started grabbing their penis and referring to it as a $5 footlong. Yeah. Everybody did because of Jared.
And then when he goes to jail, they're like footlong. I mean, it couldn't have been worse of a marketing disaster. I think it's the biggest marketing disaster in my lifetime.
I felt worse for the guy,
size of the company,
and this was a real guy. He and his wife had been saving their money for years, and they finally put the last payment, and the tile was getting delivered. The terrazzo was getting delivered to the exterior of their new Subway, right outside of Iowa, Bodunk, Iowa.
Yeah.
And he's putting in his little store, and all of a sudden, the sandwich shop that you knew was going to make you a lot of money has become like pedophile food, right? Like that would be terrible. So that would suck.
And it's kind of, it's like, well, this guy has nothing to do. Like, obviously, the Subway franchise corporation did not try to hide this, and it had nothing to do with this guy's mental illness and like what he did. Like, it really doesn't represent Subway at all, technically.
No,
but. Horrible marketing disaster, and it did affect
people love to say, like, why didn't you see it, Subway? And it's like, what?
But they immediately 180 were like, okay, athletes, nothing but athletes. And so you had Steph Curry, you had Charles Barkley, and all that. Yeah. So not just with the BMT, so they decided to change it in the boardroom, but then they don't just willy-nilly throw it out there. They have focus groups that sit down and say, now, do you like bigger, meatier, tastier? How does that affect you? How do you feel about bigger, meatier, tastier? And it was enough to where focus groups were like, yes, bigger, meatier, tastier. That's what we got to go with.
I didn't know this, but chat room is saying that Subway used to have an original spokesperson that was not Jared Fogel. That was a firefighter named Clay Henry, but after Jared took off, they were like, get out of here, Clay. You're not moving the needle.
Well, Subway used to be, if you ever went to a Subway, it used to actually be decorated like a substation, like a Subway station with like the tiles on the wall and like maps of New York and London.
I remember tables all had the renderings of like Da Vinci's drawings of like a Subway. It was like, the tunnel will look like a potato that travels through a tunnel.
Young Tom Van used to go to Subway with his middle school friends and then look around and be like, this is what they eat in New York City.
I know, me too. I know.
It always blew my mind when there was a Subway with the drive-thru. I'm like, that has got to be the slowest drive-thru ever. He's literally sitting there describing, it's like, yes, and then
I can't even explain to you how elite I felt walking at a Subway with my little cellophane bag with a footlong in it, and how much I was like, I'm healthier than everyone else. I'm trendier than everyone. Right, I'm serious. I'm walking out. I've got like my, I don't know, turkey. I'm like, I'm a cool dude.
When I was at UCF in the early 2000s, they had a Subway at the student the campus or whatever.
Yeah.
There were tables, and then there were the individual like stools up against the counters. They put signs up there that said, if you're eating by yourself, do not sit at the tables, only sit at the counters, because they don't want to like take up all the space or whatever. So basically they're saying if you're a loser with no friends, you cannot sit at the tables. The counters are for losers only.
What are they going to do? Tell you to not eat your food at the table? Get out of here.
But then everybody looks at you like, look at this loser going against what they said to do.
Joke's on you. I have my real doll sitting with me.
I remember sitting at those,
the loser seats.
Nothing worse than
print out
facing the wall. This 2 feet in front of you, and eating and just looking at the wall.
Yeah, the counter had nothing on it. And again, this was before smartphones and everything, so maybe you had a CD player you're listening to.
You know what, Kenny, you bring up a good point. Like, we grew up at a time that we didn't have, like, it was way more awkward to sit and eat by yourself than it is now.
Yeah, 6 inches away from a wall.
Now you just stare at your phone. You have
people don't want to bother you. They don't. They see you on your phone. They're like, oh, that guy's watching a show.
Yeah. There was a time you just had to stare forward or look around as you eat.
How are you guys with eating with other people, like family style, where you're like sitting down and then there might be people
strangers?
Yeah.
It feels like prison to me.
The only place I'll accept it are barbecue joints. Only if it's like one of those where it's
picnic table.
It's small, and you know that there's a smoker back there, and they can't afford to have all these tables, so they just do picnic tables. Yeah. I'll accept that.
Yeah. That's how I like it too. Barbecue is perfect.
I will only eat with strangers if there's some sort of onion volcano involved.
Okay, that one I will accept as well. That one's fun too. I like watching other people's reactions.
All right, Kenny, we got to get out of here. Anything you want to plug?
The next time I'm here, I'll be doing stuff with the United Football League.
Hey, all right.
I'll toss you free shirts again, Tom.
All right.
Good luck with your kidney stone, buddy. I'm sorry about that.
I'll keep you guys updated.
We'll be thinking about
it. I'll see if I'm high and if I can remember to give you guys a voicemail.
And remember that Flomax, you retain your number 4s.
Also remember, Daniel will buy your pain pills.
I will. Anybody's. I'll buy anybody's. I got to buy that URL, danbuyspainpills.com.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch and YouTube. Come hang out. Join the chat room. Just search for @TomandDan Live on all social media platforms.
Real quick, the Orlando Science Center is doing their Science Night Live on Valentine's Day, Friday, February 14th.
Yeah, if you don't know what to do with your significant other, might I suggest the Science Center, because here's what I'm going to tell you. It's a very nice facility. It's beautiful and top tier. There's stuff to do. So you're not going to have a boring...
it's adults only. It's at night after the Science Center shuts down officially.
Cocktails and, as my dad called hors d'oeuvres, horty orbs will be provided.
Yeah. And if you're a member, it's only $5. Yeah. Non-members, $25. Super reasonable, and it's a great night, great date night.
And you're also supporting something that we're very lucky to have here in Orlando.
So a story came out, and for anybody following the NFL, or even in the, I guess,
sports universe.
The sports universe. Yeah. Like, this is more of a non-sports, like, thing that happened during a game where DK Metcalf got into an altercation with a Detroit Lions fan.
DK Metcalf is a receiver?
He's the receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Used to be on the Seahawks.
Yes.
Sucks to be him. Yeah. He would have been in the Super Bowl.
He made the wrong choice.
Yeah. This guy's had a rough go, by the way.
Grail, DK. Wrong. You drank from the wrong
grail.
They
traded him. So he had no,
do anything about it.
But, man, what bad luck. Like, he made the playoffs, I guess. But
Cooper Kupp? Good luck. You thought, you were being booted out of L.A. Hey, look at him now.
Yeah. So, anyway, DK Metcalf got into altercation with a Detroit Lions fan. He did uppercut to try to punch him.
Was this the guy in the blue wig, right?
Yes. And people, they saw it.
He's the gentleman's name is Ryan Kennedy. He's a Detroit Lions fan. There's an infamous famous clip of him, like with the DK uppercut and his wig goes flying back.
So this got broadcast is partly the reason why this story is so popular, because during this game, I remember we were watching, I think this was down in Miami, and a friend of mine's kid was like, DK Metcalf just punched a fan. And I'm like, no way, you saw it.
Go back to your room.
And I'm like, no way he punched a fan. He's like, I saw it. And we're like, yeah, right.
Right, yeah.
I was like, you must have seen something. Anyway, he did, and then since then, the fan got a lawyer, and then DK went on a bunch of podcasts and Club Shay Shay describing...
Not just any podcast, he went on a big one, Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp. Everybody knows that has some pretty decent media power.
And then so DK claimed that this fan, Detroit Lions fan, called him the N-word, and that's why he got so heated and punched the guy.
Metcalf claims that he used the N-word. He used a misogynistic slur about Metcalf's mother, which can only be delineated as the C word for girl parts, and was provoking the incident.
And then a fan is denying this, and now suing Club Shay Shay and DK Metcalf
and Chad Johnson and Shay Shay Media.
Okay, and all that for what you said, $100 million.
$100 million.
Crazy story. We figured we'd talk to our attorney, Mo DeWitt, who's on location in Las Vegas, actually.
Hey,
and we are bothering him. He is doing. Is it a business trip?
Let's bother Mo DeWitt live in Las Vegas. Mo, are you there for us to bother?
I am here. You're taking me away from my gambling time. I'm very upset.
Why do all of our friends gamble?
I don't know. They're having a better time than us.
They really weren't working.
My God.
Ross, Craig, Mo, everybody gambles.
Everybody around me's having a better time. My kids, my wife. Anyway, sorry, Mo.
You're fine.
So, how's Vegas treating you?
It's good. I'm actually here for a conference, but it's been good. It's kind of funny to leave Florida when it was like 30 degrees and come out here to actually warm up. But it's cool.
I know. I've had people on the West Coast tell me, like that one day that we were like right at 19, 20 degrees. I've had people, in other parts of the country say like, you don't have it all now, Dan. Florida's not that great now.
All right, we got one day of freezing weather.
That's all we'll get. And guess what? That's our anomaly. I feel like we're good for 100 years now.
And by the way, I ripped all the stuff off my plants, and I'm like, it's never coming back. I proclaimed that it's never happening again in my lifetime. So Mo, have you heard about this story we talked about?
Yeah, I was reading it a little bit. I mean, it is interesting, and we've seen this before. Who was the NBA players that went into the stands and punched some fans before?
Oh,
it was probably, 10 years ago?
Meta World Peace.
Yeah. Is it...
something like that.
Yeah. Is it... I don't call them arenas. I thought it was something like that.
It was old arenas. Ron Artest.
Yeah, Ron Artest, yeah. So maybe this is a little different, obviously, because then he went on the podcast and he's trying to defend himself, but in doing so, this person's claiming that he was defamed. $100 million, nice round number. I don't know that he'll actually get that. But, there are potentially some damages here if what he is saying is false. But if it's true, that may be a different story. So it's going to kind of boil down to what the witnesses around him heard or saw, and sort of what the facts or evidence shows. Now, they're suing the podcast and everybody else, but really, obviously, the person who is responsible is the person who is, potentially or allegedly saying the defamatory information.
So, okay, Mo, that's what I wanted to talk to you about, because if we have a guest on, and then that guest says that something happened to him, right? And we're interviewing, and he says that, and then we have a popular show, and then that person sues us for defamation. Why is Club Shay Shay involved in this? Because it's just the person himself that said it, or because Club Shay Shay didn't say allegedly or anything like that to protect themselves, and then maybe it leaves them open for lawsuit?
I mean, potentially. So historically, kind of media outlets have had immunity when somebody comes on or if they're reporting on something that turns out to be false. The example I think we've talked about on the show before was a case that I just randomly happened to witness in court one day where, one of the local news stations went on and said, David Smith robbed the bank, we're looking for him. And I'm just making up the name, obviously.
Sure.
And it turned out they had the wrong name, and now every time David Smith goes to apply for a job, there's 27 news stories about how he was wanted for robbing a bank. And even though it was retracted later on, on the internet, it's still there. So there was a lawsuit on that, but ultimately the court dismissed that claim because the news station itself had immunity. So same kind of thing here with a podcast. Typically they're going to have immunity unless, in this case, Shannon Sharpe said something himself to further the defamation. If he's making statements that further that defamation, then he's being brought into the lawsuit by saying things himself. But usually, if you're just the venue, if you're just the forum, historically that's had immunity. Now, under the current administration, there has been some challenges to that. We'll see where those ultimately go, but that's historically what's been done.
Okay. Yeah, and it looks as if in this case, and I think most people have figured this out, the crux of this is the guy is basically claiming that his life was turned upside down because he was unfairly accused of using the N-word, and he didn't, right? And that's what this whole thing is about.
Now,
and obviously,
like, you've ruined my life because you've painted me in this light, and I didn't do this. And I need to clear my name, and I need you to help me clear my name.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, that allegation can be very damaging to somebody's life when it comes to their job, their reputation, all sorts of things. So that is a very damaging allegation to make to somebody. Obviously, if it's true, the truth is ultimate defense. But if it is false, then he does, obviously have a claim here.
So does he need a paper trail of damages to prove to the court that he was hurt?
Paper N-word.
Write that down.
Sorry, Mo. No, we'll get to the damages in a second because I have a question about that. But back to the actual allegations to begin with. What if it's a he said, she said scenario where the people around him, it's a loud environment, obviously an NFL game, people are screaming, and nobody around him can, corroborate the fact that he did say it, or like
I'm not sure I would remember much of that. Yeah,
and then so it's just the fan saying I didn't say it, and DK saying, well, that's what I heard. What happens then?
Well, ultimately, it'll be up to a jury to weigh the evidence and see who they believe, and make a decision as to whether the plaintiff proved the case of defamation or not. So ultimately, it could go to a jury, and they're going to hear from witnesses around there who maybe different witnesses say different things. Maybe they heard it, maybe they didn't hear it. But ultimately, a jury would have to make that determination, assuming that it's not settled before them.
Now, does it matter if DK is testifying that that's what he heard? And maybe it's misheard, and then the people are saying I didn't say that, but I could see does it matter if you misheard and thought that person called you
the
N-word?
He could die on that hill, is what you're saying.
And then say hey, that's what I heard 100%, and then the person's like, well, I didn't say that, but I guess it goes to the jury because if he didn't say that, then he has a defamation case. I don't know. I guess it's just whatever the jury believes, right?
Well, sort of. I mean, if he was mistaken in what he heard, he was still mistaken, and therefore, he is still defaming him, and he's still liable for his actions because, even if he says, well, that's what I think he said, but other people say he didn't say it, then he's still wrong. He's still in the wrong there.
Gotcha. Okay, now to the damages question. It does seem like, and we've seen this guy, right after this incident happened, he had a lawyer, he's on TV. This guy seems like kind of a goofball, troublemaker.
He's got the backwards Detroit hat, and he's wearing a full suit. I'm like, come on, man. Come on, man.
By the way, Mo, my dream is to be on TV with you one day.
Don't tell Mo that.
And then also...
Will you be in a jumpsuit?
Yes, I will. Okay. And then me, having a press conference, and I'm dressed like a clown. Anyway, sorry. But
we need to get him to file the LLC for Grandpa Biker and the Maniac. We're starting a new show called Grandpa Biker and the Maniac.
Perfect.
All right.
So the damages, like, it does seem like even claiming $100 million worth of damages is almost for just the publicity and not anything else. It's just
the headline.
It's just the headline, and that's kind of all they're set out to do is just keep their 15 minutes of fame. Because when it comes to damages for defamation, how is something like that even calculated?
Well, I mean, damages for defamation can be difficult, and usually when you bring a defamation claim, you kind of open up your entire life because you have to show how it damaged you. So it's very subjective, but anytime you see something where it's like $100 million in damages, that's a little bit, like you said, just to grab a headline. From a lawyer perspective, it's usually kind of a little clownish to put that in there because usually, and this is, media gets this wrong a lot, but a lot of times they're suing for more than $50,000 or more than $75,000 because that's the jurisdictional limit to get into that court. But when you put an actual number, especially a number like $100 million, that's a little bit absurd. And also, when you go to trial, then the other side can say, well, you're asking for $100 million. How do you prove that? And so it's not the greatest thing from a lawyer's perspective, in my opinion, to put a number like that in there. But again, like you said, it's more to grab the headline, to grab attention.
So that's the interesting question, Mo. So when the lawyer obviously knows that, and they
well,
know,
maybe.
Oh, really? The lawyer
I mean, we don't know who these people are, what kind of experience they have.
But
I know what you're going to say.
Like if I was his lawyer,
what's the better play?
I'm a clown lawyer, and then I'm like, well,
I'm a lawyer.
I'm like, well, here's how I'm. Could you put together $100 million in some fictional universe where, like, this guy was starting a podcast and he could be the next Joe Rogan, and you stop that because of this N-word.
Falsely labeled him.
Yeah, and because and based on Joe Rogan's numbers, he could have made $100 million, but now he can't, and therefore that's my justification for this. Can you go that far out and make ridiculous claims like that to justify?
No, it'd be too speculative. I mean, damages have to be provable, articulable, and so if you've never made that kind of money before, if there's no contract to support that, if there's nothing to support that, it's too speculative. Now, of course, there's things like punitive damages, which is basically damages to deter people from, having bad conduct in the future, and they can maybe argue something like that. It'd be difficult to do in this case, but you can't just make up numbers and be like, I was, going to be the next Joe Rogan, and now you ruin that. That doesn't.
Okay.
Now, admissible.
Now, Mo, like when you're playing the game of trying to get damages, in your opinion, even using both sides, you think it is a better play as a lawyer to come in with an accurate number and actually seek true damages than it is to launch a mega number and just try to pick up the crumbs afterwards, right? Is that
I think if you end up in court in trial, you look like an idiot. If you're asking for $100 million, but you've only made $30,000, in your entire life.
Yeah, it doesn't look
too
serious.
Much of a leap.
Yeah, at that point,
exactly.
the absurdity, like you said, it's a perfect word.
Now,
it looks ridiculous.
Now, could you, let's say in the real defamation case, say this happened? DK said you said the N-word. It makes publicity. You get fired from your job that you made $100,000 a year, right? Then could you say, like, okay, this guy's 38. He's got 20 more years of working.
Hard working.
And based on $100,000, we're looking at $2 million, give or take, of damages you caused my client. Is that kind of a fair assessment?
Oh, yeah. That's definitely a fair assessment. And, of course, you can include, like, things like cost of living increases and wage increases and, what you believe based on the trajectory, the skills, training, experience, what you believe that their future income would be, but for these statements being made and now the client's damaged and can't get a job and can't work and so on and so forth.
Gotcha. And now, under your professional opinion, do you think this guy gets a dime from this, or is this all publicity, you think?
I think initially it sounds like most of it's publicity. Now, obviously, we don't really know what happened there, but the facts are fairly damning. So I could see this being settled out of court rather quickly to make it go away. I don't know that all parties are going to settle, but some might settle, and then they drop the other parties that aren't really responsible for
Mo,
it.
when they do this, like, do you think of it in terms, like, this guy obviously does his press conference and everything, so that makes me think like maybe he thinks he can actually get something out of this. Is it possible that he already has the witnesses around him like buttoned up and like he already knows that they're going to say he didn't say that?
Well, a good lawyer would have the witnesses all buttoned up already, but you never know what people are doing. Here they may just be filing this for the headlines and think that they can get a quick cash grab for it. I mean, we really don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but you would hope that, a lawyer would do their research the evidence, talk with the witnesses, and do a preliminary investigation to see what's actually going on.
So what's the most interesting to me about this is there is a precedent that happened before this with another NFL player where I don't know if you remember the story where Myles Garrett claimed, and this is the infamous when he grabbed
was this?
Mason Rudolph's helmet. This is like a couple years ago. He grabbed Mason Rudolph's helmet, who was playing for the Steelers at this time, and then tried to hit him over the head with it, and everybody was like, "Oh my God! Like you could kill someone." Yeah. And then he and Myles Garrett claimed that Mason Rudolph called him the N-word.
Correct.
And then everybody kind of gave Myles Garrett a pass because they're like, "Oh yeah, that's justified if you called Myles Garrett the N-word
you're allowed to kill him with your helmet."
Yeah. Which was weird.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
football law.
And then it kind of all faded away, and then they both players are Myles Garrett, the sack champion, and then Mason Rudolph still playing in the NFL, and it's kind of faded away. But it was a weird thing that
2020
in 2020, yeah, so like 6 years ago. But it's kind of like that proved to other NFL players that you kind of get a pass if you get called the N-word to revert to the violence, which is kind of interesting because then Mason Rudolph said he never said that, which is weird.
Yeah.
That happened too, and then it's kind of weird. Everybody,
he says he called it a bold-faced lie. He's like, that never happened. He's like, that's not real.
And I kind of believe Mason Rudolph. Like, why would he use that word in a team? Like, first of all, it doesn't make sense that an NFL player would use that word in that manner to it would be weird.
It's not going to help things.
Like you're not like he's in the NFL. It's like it's hard to believe that he's racist in the NFL. I don't know.
I'm sure that it's there though.
So it kind of makes me believe that DK Metcalf did make it up to justify punching the fan, because if he just said it was because he was teasing me, and calling him his real name,
well, that's not enough. You need to make it more. You need to make it more
Yes,
infuriating. Is that your argument?
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think, Mo?
Well, I mean, from a legal perspective, it doesn't really matter. I mean, obviously, it's a little different when it's on the field, but anytime you're committing a battery on another person, whether it's somebody on the field or off the field, that is illegal and unjustified no matter what they said. But there was more of a reputational situation where they were trying to do a little bit of PR to make him look better by saying, I didn't just lose my cool, I was called this. So, I mean, from a legal perspective, he's still in the wrong no matter what was said. But from a publicity or the public's perspective, maybe that helps justify what happened. If in fact that was said,
it props it up a little more as an argument. It does.
Just because of that prior incident, I'm like, man, I believe
it's a super powerful word, right? I mean, like.
And then Myles Garrett it all got swept under the rug. So that did work.
It is weird because every article is an open-ended article with never going back to it. It happened in 2020. There's like a bunch of different articles. Everybody covered it, and then that was it.
And I think both players, like Mason Rudolph, just agreed to move on, and that would helps. And this this fan is like, I'm not moving on.
Myles Garrett's not really moving on. He's kind of like he's like light moving on. Like if people ask him about it, he'll say like, "Oh yeah, it happened," and then he'll just not expound on it. Which is
crazy.
Weird.
Oh, all right, Mo. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Yeah. Sorry we ruined your vacation, buddy. No,
not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Good luck at the conference. You're the coolest guy there, right? Like all those other dorks. They can't hear me, right? I'm not on speakerphone.
You're actually on speaker.
Oh, my God.
Speakerphone. Yeah, very embarrassing.
What have you done?
Yeah. Is there a lot of partying going on at the lawyer conference? Because all you guys, you got a couple of nickels to rub together. You could, there's some champagne and some Cristal, and
you guys have some of those, Although it's not, it's kind of frowned upon.
That's always it's like a rap music video. We just drink Cristal all day. Yeah, but no,
I like that's your reference. I like Tom's like you guys are really into the hypnotic, right? It's St. Ives. You love it.
but I'm actually supposed to meet up with David Jolly tonight because he's supposed to fly into town for a show tomorrow. So,
you will be drinking Cristal.
He likes Cristal.
He does, and Hypnotic, and St. Ides.
All right, Mo.
We love you, buddy.
We appreciate it.
Stay safe and thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Thank you again. That is our buddy Mo DeWitt live from Las Vegas. More than our buddy, he's our attorney, and he can be your attorney as well if you are injured on the go. That's the guy.
Yeah. JustCallMo.com. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with more Weird Job Wednesday when we return. On the line with us, he's going to be at the Funny Bone doing a live podcast tonight with comedian Michael Yo.
That's a big deal, man, and we haven't talked to this gentleman since August 15th, 2012.
Yeah.
We were in the midst of the Patent Troll podcast debacle.
And you can get your tickets at orlando.funnybone.com. Adam Carolla is on the line. How you doing, Adam?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So, Adam, Daniel already mentioned it. The last time we talked to you back in 2012, and the podcast, I've been waiting to talk to you again because we, too, me and Daniel started a podcast back in 2009, just like you did. We were in radio guys, and you were kind of one of the inspirations of why we even started a podcast. And we left out our own 4 years after we started. We had to build it up. But essentially after that, we, work for ourselves, do a podcast here in Central Florida, blah, blah, blah. And the last time we talked to you in 2012, it was completely different. The industry, the podcast market was completely different. And now in 2026, there's so many podcasts out. Every celebrity's doing one, every sports star. I'm curious to your opinion on what the podcast market is now.
Well, it's pretty saturated.
Yes.
But so is every market where everyone wants to do something. Look, there are jobs people don't want to do and jobs people want to do. If you want to work at McDonald's, you can work at McDonald's. Anyone can work at McDonald's. I worked at McDonald's. There's no barrier to entry. And then if you want to play shortstop for the Yankees, then there's a whole bunch of people who want to play shortstop for the Yankees. So it's going to be a tougher putt. The thing about podcasting is it's like playing shortstop for the Yankees and working at McDonald's, which anyone can do it. I never really thought of it this way, but really anyone can do it.
Yes.
So there's no barrier to entry, but not that many people get paid like they're starting on the Yankees at shortstop, right?
Yes.
So it's kind of a weird thing. It'd be like if 3 million people were all running for president, thinking they could be president. So it's weird. There's a lot of people. If you're good and you're consistent and you've been doing it for a while, and that's fine. For me, it's fine. But I don't know what I would do if I was just getting started.
Yes.
Or maybe that'd be a good thing. I don't know.
So another thing that I never saw coming, Adam, and when me and Daniel started this, we realized there'd be a lot of broadcasters that go from radio to podcast because essentially you can self-distribute now. And, back in the radio days, and I know you worked in radio for so long, and so did me and Daniel.
Yeah,
where
do
it's
it yourself.
You couldn't distribute. You want to do a talk show, good luck. You have to go through, you have to have a partner with a radio station or TV. That was the only thing. And now you could just do a show and distribute it. But I didn't foresee all the celebrities doing podcasts and the sports stars that they're not even making any money or just doing it because it's so easy. And it's that diluted the market even more. And I was like, okay, well, now Julian Edelman and Gronk are doing a podcast and every other wide receiver.
Shaquille O'Neal's got 9 podcasts.
And then that dilutes the market so much where it's 10 million things. And so that's weird to me. It's celebrities are doing podcasts for essentially, they're not even getting paid doing it. They're just doing it because it's easy.
Well, but they're hoping they're going to get paid.
Yeah.
I think they're not doing it pro bono, or if they do, they won't do it for long pro bono. They're looking to get paid.
Yeah.
At least if not later, sooner.
Did you find because me and Daniel have seen this with the dilution of everything and having so many different options that it kind of, the only thing that really saved us, and obviously, you're still successful in what you
holding
do
records,
is because the amount of reps that you had in your broadcasting background, I feel like that is something that everybody else doesn't have. It's like, broadcasters and anybody in radio, just has so many tens of thousands of reps doing conversational improv that kind of secured our jobs for at least, for the time being.
Yeah.
And then it also, you start to see other people that do podcasts like, oh yeah, this, Julian Edelman and Gronkowski, they, if you listen to their commercials, it's rough. It's like they don't have any reps. So, it's the tremendous amount of reps broadcasters have kind of, helped hold our jobs. And I'm curious to what you think about that.
He did 5 reps on the subject of reps.
Yeah, he's a reps guy, Adam. He's a reps guy. It's like we got to squeeze him in where you can.
I felt like you needed a spotter for that one.
I'm sorry.
I mean, look, it's a 10,000-hour kind of job, and people don't really know it, and they sit down and they start talking, and it's pretty apparent that that's not what they've been doing for most of their lives. Some people are naturally better at it than others, and most people, they just stick with it and they get those reps sort of turn into something. Not that many people are naturally gifted. They just can hold their own because of repetition. I don't know how many commercial airline pilots are naturally gifted, or they just have done it enough where they know what they're doing. So I don't know. The weird thing about podcasting and me is I don't really think about it. I just show up. I try to get the best guests. I try to find the best angles. I try to have the best thoughts. I walk around with a little buck slip and make little notes all day and go, oh, I'll talk about this, or I want to talk about that, or here's an idea, And after that, the chips just fall where they may.
Yeah. Well, I mean, congratulations on you just re-upped your deal with Podcast One, and now you have, what are you, 7 to 9 on Megyn Kelly's channel on Sirius XM, so congrats on that. How did that deal, how did that kind of come about? Because, I'm a big Sirius XM guy, and when I knew you were going back, it's like going back to radio, or is that even like radio? Like, how does that work when you do Sirius? Is it a simulcast?
Yeah, it's a simulcast, so we just formatted our show just a little bit different. Nothing really, just sort of had a break or added a couple minutes on the time or something. And as a matter of fact, the episode I did, today's episode, is with Megyn Kelly live on stage. And we're talking about a live podcast with Michael Yo. This was a live podcast with Megyn Kelly I did over the weekend that airs today. So if anyone listening wants to hear what a live podcast sounds like, you can go check that out. But it was a great show. Megyn was fantastic as per usual, and I don't know. I was talking to people from Sirius XM, and one thing led to another, and we decided to sort of try it this way, and it's win-win for us because I'm doing the podcast anyway, so might as well get a couple extra ears on Megyn's network.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she cast a pretty large shadow.
And Adam, speaking of Sirius, and I always think about you when Howard Stern does this. When every time he has some sort of contract dispute with Sirius, and then
we just got through this at the top of the year.
Yeah, it's like old school radio. It's like you fighting with the company, the broadcast company that airs you, and then,
will they bring him back?
Yeah, and then that will they bring him back thing. I'm just like, well, you could just release any show you want. Anybody can, and you could do it. I mean, obviously, you could. He's got his own. He got everything.
Yeah.
He's like, you could just release it on the internet. So, do you think about that every time? Like Howard Stern has some sort of contract dispute with Sirius?
do I think about
like the fact that
what aspect of it?
Like the fact that he could just easily self-distribute in this day and age, and it's kind of ridiculous almost that you're having this like, oh, will they re-sign my contract? And it's like I go away.
Well, I mean, that would be provided he would want to do that. I think he's an old school guy. He's a radio guy, and he wants a contract. And I did this on a flyer. I didn't get paid for the first year and just did it for free when I started podcasting. I don't think you're going to get a Howard Stern to commit to X amount of content a week without a contract. Now, it doesn't mean it needs to be a Sirius XM thing. It could be any podcast network. But I just feel like he wants a contract, But yes, it is sort of foolish because obviously anyone can pick up their iPhone, record themselves, and there's content. It's not like anyone could ever be silenced or pulled off the air.
Sure.
Yeah. And Adam, right before we started with you, we were talking about randomly dream jobs. And I'm curious your take on that because my sons are 10 and 11, and as they grow up, I'm like, now we start talking and having conversations about what they want to do. And I hate the term dream job because I feel like that's a fantasy that doesn't really exist. Like every job, should be fulfillment. They should give you fulfillment. But dream job insinuates that it's like good. Every aspect of it is great, and the work of it doesn't exist. So I'm curious to like the society being filled or fed the fantasy of dream job. And what you think about that?
I think it's kind of a problem and maybe a bit of a fool's errand because like I grew up thinking, well, dream job would be ice cream taster, right?
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that would be a crappy job if you worked at Haagen-Dazs tasting ice cream. I mean, it wouldn't be fulfilling. It'd be filling, but not fulfilling.
Gotcha.
It would be like, and like the reality is a dream job is like a job where you work hard and you have an outcome and you like solve problems and you get challenged. And, when I was a carpenter, it wasn't a dream job, but at the end of the day, I could step back and see that I built something and accomplished something. And it felt pretty good. I slept good that night because I was tired, because I was working all day. So I think we think of dream job is like mattress tester or something, you know what I mean? Like literally, what's the easiest thing I can do? I'll be the Maytag repairman. And that's how I grew up. Like, oh man, that guy's getting paid just to sit there all day.
Yeah.
But that's really that's a horrible job.
That's torture.
I have a job. I travel. My job can be a hassle. It's a lot of airports and security and checking in and waiting in line and stuff. But I could go on stage and share my ideas and like have people laugh and meet people and have people tell me, oh, I listened to the podcast and I love it. Or the best, got me through some hard times.
Yeah.
I was going through a divorce and I listened to your podcast. That's a dream job, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So what do you think? What do you think I should tell my sons, like when they start looking for work? Because, like I've been listening to you, Adam, for 30 years, and listened to your, I think I know you, your background growing up.
They won't need jobs, universal income,
and like you got into construction and stuff, and like the radio thing, kind of. It took you hard work, but also a little bit of luck, and then going towards the right way. All these things, I wouldn't put my sons in the entertainment business, or like, I don't know. What do you think I should tell my sons?
Gotta get that spotter.
I'm sorry, Adam.
That's all right.
When I'm talking to someone that I've listened to for a long time, I get naturally nervous and I start babbling on.
Listen, it's passion. I appreciate the passion and that's what you have. And you remind me of a young me when I was middle aged. Listen, I look. Here's what you have to do. You have to balance what it is you'd like to do versus what it is you can do. You have to be realistic, You have to be realistic with your abilities. You're not going to get to do everything. Some people don't have the ability to do certain things. So let's figure out, forget about what you want to do. What do you do? What is the thing you do when you're left alone? What do you do for free? I mean, what is your thing that people like? They love pets, or they love kids, or they love gardening, or something. Whatever. For me, I love talking.
Yeah.
So I when I was left alone, when I had my off time, or when I wasn't working, I was with my friends cutting it up, and I was like, all right, I want to figure out a way to get paid to do this thing. I was good with my hands. I liked building, and I was mechanical, so I worked as a carpenter. But I wasn't a CPA, and I wasn't a dentist, and there was just a bunch of stuff I wasn't going to excel at. So I think you got to figure out, what is it they excel at? Like, what are they like, What is it they do normally and naturally?
Yeah, no, you're right. Figuring out what you're good at and going that direction will give you the fulfillment and work. And instead of I always tell people, don't make your hobby your job sometimes, because when you turn it into a job, that's not what the hobby was meant for. Yeah. But for sure. Anyway, Adam, I know you got to go. We appreciate you taking the time to talk to us again. Orlando.funnybone.com is doing a live podcast tonight with comedian Michael Yo.
Yeah, you get to see Adam Carolla. You get to see Michael Yo. He's been in here multiple times and is a sweetheart of a guy. It's going to be a great show. Tickets are really, really reasonably priced. Get them now. Orlando.funnybone.com. Hey, thank you for the time, man. It's always a pleasure chatting with you.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you in another 14 years.
There you go. We'll see you in 14.
We'll still be doing it, Adam.
See you, man. Take care. Oh, there you go.
I don't know.
The breakfast Adam Carolla talks are hard. They're hard. When you're hitting him at 10 a.m., that's hard.
Yeah,
you did a good job.
He does morning radio.
You did a good job.
No, you know what it is that when you talk to someone that
he's hard to talk to.
Yeah. Well, because he's
hard to interview.
Yeah. Because
he likes to talk. I'm gonna be the funny guy here. I'm gonna do it.
So I'm gonna ask a super funny creative question.
Yeah, I'm gonna put everything in my question.
And there's a rambling on.
And I would have tried to help you there, but nothing I would have said would have added anything. And I don't know if you'll remember this, but me and Carolla go way back, because the last time he was on the show 14 years ago, I tried to butter him up with my love for classic cars and scooters.
Yeah.
And I said, I have a 1959 Vespa VBA, and he said, you must get all the dudes. So I'm not going to be able to help you here. You understand?
Yeah,
I'm already on his watch list. I'm already on the watch list.
Yeah. And it just...
And do you want to know something I'm going to tell you honestly as your friend and business partner?
Yeah.
Still bothers me a little bit 14 years later that he said that about my classic scooter, because I love my classic scooter.
I
didn't have the heart to tell him I pulled the engine out of it and converted it to electric. Oh, my God. He'd have gone off on me.
It's the
most woke thing you can do with your scooter, Tom, is to put an electric motor in it.
No, I heard him talk about electric motors and how insanely fast and efficient they are.
It's so fun. It's the best.
But I don't know.
You did a good job.
No, it's
What? Talk
I'm disappointed how
rate your performance. Let's rate our performance.
Okay,
let's rate our performance.
Okay.
We're the only people that do this, by the way. No. Other shows do the interview and then they're like, don't ever let anybody know that you're bad at anything. Look, we'll be real with you guys.
Okay, I'll tell you the truth.
Oh my God, taking your clothes off now.
I'm not a GD amateur right?
Who said you were an amateur? Nobody said
that. Well, it sounds like I was.
Well, no, you got
this guy's a rambling fool.
Off into your question, and sometimes when you get off into your question, like a little girl in the woods, you look around, and you're like, where am I? And I'm like, oh, no. And I'm like, and then I'm like the huntsman, and I'm like, Tom!
Yeah. Just let me wander away.
No, and you're gone.
Yeah. And
what am I supposed to do? Well, tell me what you would have wanted me to do.
This is why it went poorly.
Should I have said, shut up?
And it didn't even go poor. People were like, it's fine, it's fine. Don't tell me it's fine.
Hold on. I'm not going to let
I know it's bad or good.
Hold on. I'm not going to let you do this. Step one of it going poorly is to talk to Adam Carolla at 10 a.m. on Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to give that to us. That's our fault.
Well, he's traveling. He's in Florida. Anyway.
Yes, we're hitting him before. Dude hasn't even had one swig of water this morning. Yeah. We hit him out of bed.
He probably realizing this ain't going to do anything, waste of time.
He knows. We know. We know we're doing the dance. Do the dance. Sometimes you dance with a fat girl. I don't know what that means. I don't know why I said that.
So here's
insensitive and a horrible thing to say.
A bunch of things that don't lend itself to, like, I'm only good at okay.
You're freaking out, bro.
No, okay.
You took your clothes off. You're yelling at me.
I'll give it to us one thing that I think a lot of our listeners, maybe some people will disagree, but I think it skews towards this is more not even objectively. This is, or like not even subjectively. This is objectively true that me and you together are pretty good at interviewing someone.
Pretty good. I'd give us a pretty good.
yeah.
Where am I? I'd give us a pretty good.
We make it comfortable. They usually have a good time with us. We've had a good track record just based on statistics.
Yeah, and
over the years, when people leave, they're like, "Ah, it was good." Like more people leave happy and satisfied with the interview than not.
More people say they enjoy talking to us than say they dislike talking to us.
To the point, and these are people like seasoned professionals that do hundreds of interviews a year.
But the only one we can't win over is Adam Carolla.
Well, first off, that I know I talked to Mike August, which I know is funny because I listen to him. Like I know that's his right.
Were you geeking out a little bit?
No, because I'm too, whatever.
How do you know who's Mike August? I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's the manager of years that I've heard all these stories.
I only know August from White Claw.
So first, I'm like, how much? I'm trying to be pro with him. I'm like, how much time? He's like 15 minutes. Because I remember last time we talked to him, he's like, God damn, this is going on too long.
Oh, I have the clip. Okay. Hold on, I got a clip. Let's go to the clip. Hold on, Dan is prepared. A sober Daniel is a prepared Daniel. Let's go to the tape. Have we done this before with Adam Carolla? Have we ever bumbled with Adam Carolla to the point where he needed to leave? Let's check the tape.
I do got to go, unfortunately, guys. I'm sorry.
That's called, you knew how long you had, and you're just running your mouths. You're just running your little mouths.
So, and then I know Adam
That's
Carolla,
from 2012, by the way.
Yeah, so they said 15 minutes. So immediately, right off the bat, I'm like, damn. Because me and Daniel, we do best when we have at least 40. Because it takes a little warming up.
The kids don't want 40. The kids want 30 seconds.
No, because like it gets a little time warming up and you get going and then you kind of, where's this going to go that's best? Like, and me and you will feel it out and then go that way.
Can I tell you something?
We'll have a bunch of backup stuff.
As soon as when we gave him the intro and he was like,
hey, what's up?
I was like, oh, this is ruined. Can I tell you? I know it. I think I'm good at that. Like, I think that I'm like, if I'm like a fashion designer, or if you're picking like that new hit on rock radio, or picking a hip hop song that's got a beat that will be infectious, the new summer jam. I was sitting here as a tastemaker listening to it, and I hear,
hey, what's going on?
I'm like, well, we've already blown it.
Because
we blew it.
In my dream interview, we developed
There's no such thing as that. He just told you.
But I was like, I can develop in 5 minutes a rapport with a stranger over the phone.
Yeah.
And then we all start laughing because like I know all the things he likes. I'm going to talk about extending the field goal poles. I'm going to start talking about his Newman race cars.
See, you were trying to stuff it all in.
I'm like, I got it all. Like, I know this guy.
Yeah, but he figured you out. He knew you were stuffing.
I know. He's like,
that's why he started laughing.
He was like, God damn, you're trying. And then it makes me feel like a fool. I've been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah.
I'm about some new greenhorn that doesn't know what the hell's going on.
At least he acknowledged
I know everything about the damned guy.
At least he acknowledged you.
No, well, because he felt because I showed vulnerability, like Colette says.
The chat room liked that, and it worked. The chat room, everybody was like, "Holy crap! You took a knee. You literally bent the knee.
God damn!
And you were like,
what the hell?
You were like, I'm sorry, sir. I'm excited, and the whole chat room lit up.
I know they're all laughing at me.
No,
you didn't at first.
They didn't laugh. You think they left? They did not laugh.
They think I'm weak.
No, they were like, "What's he doing? He's going off script. He's going rogue. No, he's hitting him with the emotions. He never hits him with the emotions."
Well, because I realized,
and it worked. You pulled him back in. I thought we were going to lose him. What did I do? I did nothing. I said three things during the. I laughed at him. I did that. I give 3
damn. Anyway,
you don't even hear me in that interview.
No,
I just did the stupid thing.
You know what? Someone.
You know what I hate? My job is when Adam Carolla will say something, and he'll be like, "There's no such thing as dream jobs," and I'll just come in like, "Yeah, there's no such thing as dream jobs." Yeah, great job, Dan. You just come in like, "Yeah, great job." Like, what? No, whatever you say, I just parrot it. What is that? You're like, "Thanks for calling, Adam." I'm like, "Yeah, thanks for calling, Adam."
That wasn't a stupid dream job question. I had so many other ones.
Do you want to ask me the other questions?
No.
And I can answer you as Adam Carolla?
No. There's like...
Don't sound so disappointed.
You know, stupid.
I'm so stupid.
Oh, God. I wish I'd never had done it.
I tried to butter him up with the Megyn Kelly thing. You know, like give him some congratulations about like being on the Sirius XM channel. What I really wanted to say though to him, and you don't want to do this with people who are on the because you know, like I like to think that we have a good rapport with everybody that comes on our show. But I mean, I kind of wanted to ask, but it sounds bad. But like, will that even do anything for you? Don't you get more people downloading your show naturally just on Apple Podcasts and YouTube Podcasts and wherever podcasts are found than Sirius XM could ever garner?
Yeah,
aren't those channels like
It may be if it's easy, why not? And then if he's just doing a show and change the format a tiny bit,
that's
like
true.
You know, then it's like hey, they'll just use the content. It's like if any company said like, hey, we'll take Tom and Dan content, chop it up, and put it on our network.
We did this.
We do it.
We can talk about
why not?
This. No, we did this a couple of years ago.
Especially if they paid us or there's some incentive or like, hey, we'll advertise your commercials. Like, if it's easy, do anything.
Yeah.
You know, like, why not? There's no, like, who the hell cares? Especially if you own it.
There was a guy that was trying to get us on the, like, in-flight entertainment. We were on for a little while. It was, like, in-flight entertainment in, like, lesser-known airlines.
No,
you'd go down to podcasts and there'd be all these like podcasts from like India and then Tom and Dan.
That was at a time. It's funny. That was at a time where there were companies looking for content.
Yeah,
like there were still.
We've never talked about that really.
There was still like a content desert a little bit at the very beginning of all this stuff. You know, it's like now it's.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the world's flooded.
Yeah, there's stuff everywhere.
Yeah, there's like 2 giraffes or 2 elephants floating around.
How do we figure out how do we take advantage of like we should do? It's hard to explain what I'm even saying. Oh, now I'm doing it.
You know, it's my kryptonite.
Tell me.
And you could do this to me if you want to drive me crazy. And
that's a Savannah song.
Is when someone they say something and then they're silent and then I start talking to them and then the silence, they're not like, yeah, they don't do a yeah, or some sort of noise signifying that
that's my fault.
They're following me. So then
I've given you too many yeah.
But I'm like, oh my God, I have to keep going.
Oh my God, hold on, I figured this out.
Like, I need a yeah speed bump.
No. And I didn't mean to give you a no when you're looking for yes, but you understand what I mean.
I'm thinking no. Well, anything.
Follow me.
If you say silent, I just keep talking.
No, but listen to me. What do you need when you're at a concert? What do you need people around you to be doing for you to have a good time?
Yeah, have a good time. Yeah.
So then, yeah is really it's an affirmation, right? You're telling something in order for you to feel like whatever you're saying is accurate or is this good? And then somebody has to go, yeah. It's the same thing.
And it's worse over the phone because I can't see their face. If they're sitting here in front of me and I see their face, I'm totally fine. But on the phone, I'm just like, oh my God, imagine them mad. Just sitting there mad. And I'm like talking to a mad person on the phone. And then I'm like, oh my God, keep talking. I'm like, what the hell? Anyway. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. With
I was doing it. See, I was doing it. And you started to freak out a little bit.
I just ended it. I was like, I'll end this. God damn it.
What if you just pulled out a gun and shot me dead? Should we take a break?
Yeah, we'll be right back. Welcome back to A Corporate Time from the podcast Fish and Brits.
Yes.
Adam and Wayne are here. How you doing, guys?
Hey, we're back.
Thank you.
I brought it with me this time.
Hello.
Yes, I didn't come.
They brought mugs.
Pardon? We have mugs.
I see those mugs, and you have fancy starter jackets.
I know. This is this guy.
You guys look like you're going to the Olympics.
We are to watch it. I mean, I'm not competing.
These
in
were
any
the
way.
most useful thing in the world. We've just come back from a trip to Buffalo, to New York. The freezing cold Niagara Falls. That was miserable.
It's frozen, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Two
But
Florida lads.
We had more people ask us about the show from wearing these in airports and in the street than we ever have before.
Yeah, we were like walking billboards because
I like
across the
it.
back it says Fish and Brits. You know,
I had to
It's
keep
like-
magnets in my pocket to give them out to people.
I like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's Mondami did that. He got the.
Oh, yeah?
He has a jacket that says mayor on the side. It says the city of New York right here. And
There you
everybody
go.
was like,
Well, now we know who you are.
And everybody was like,
Come
people
here.
are dying and you spent all this time on a jacket. Nobody's happy about anything.
Let's talk about this because,
You have always been anti you and I wearing matching jackets, and I have always wanted.
All right.
I have forever wanted matching jackets, and I am both happy for my friends and very sad.
So where we have gotten the most questions in the past about Tom and Dan, if we're wearing Tom and Dan apparel, has been the cruises that we've done, okay?
Right.
So then when strangers ask us, they're like, oh, what's Tom and Dan? It's probably because they see hundreds of people on the boat wearing the stuff, and they like question. And then they say they catch us in an elevator, and they're like, hey, what's Tom and Dan? We're like, oh, we're Tom and Dan, we're a podcast. And they're like, oh, they act interested. They're like, oh, I'm going to check that out. And then they leave the elevator, and I'm like, I want to make sure they take it.
Yes.
I was the same way. Are they really going to?
Yeah. And then I'm like, I think they're going to forget.
Yeah.
But I do that to
They'll
everyone
never
I
do
meet.
it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I met a lady.
Because I lie to people too.
I'm gonna give you one.
And I'm like, oh, I'll check out your. And then I never do it.
When I went to the Guitar
Sorry.
Hotel
Wayne.
in Fort Lauderdale to see Chris Stapleton, I got in the elevator, and I got in the elevator with this lady. She had a very unique look. She's just giving off cool energy. And she was like, oh, are you going to see the show? And I had a cowboy hat on. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to see the show. And then we got to talking, and then she's like, you should check out my pizzeria, Nikki's Pizza. And I was like, you know what? Where's it at? And she's like, it's in Vero Beach. I think that. And I was like, you know what? I'm definitely going to do that.
Yeah. I
I was like, I'll be there. You know, I pulled it up on my phone. As soon as she got out of the elevator, I'm like, I'm not
going to Vero
There's
Beach.
no way in hell.
Unless I have a-
I'm never going there. I'll never. I forgot.
You lied.
I did. I lied.
Why do we all lie to you? I tell people about the
I lie to
bands and
everyone.
their interests. My friends,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I'm doing this thing. I'm like, oh, cool. I'll work on it. I'll
Yeah.
never do it.
I've lied
we're
to
the
you
same.
guys.
We're
You
the
guys-
same.
I've lied to you guys. You guys invite us to some event. You're like, you should come to that. I'm like, oh yeah, I should.
You came to 11sies though. You
I
came
did
to
come to that.
11sies.
Yeah.
Was it because it was
But
food?
do you want? I'm going to tell you something. Do you know what? I wanted to lie to you.
Go ahead.
I didn't want to go. I wanted to stay home.
You're like son.
Do you know how hard that was? Do you know how hard it was for me to go to
He
your
told
event?
me.
Yeah, I was like,
I
ah.
know.
I was like, I was so awkward. I didn't know what I was doing. I was standing around like an idiot.
And I was like, just tell him you're sick. I'm enabling him to.
Just
You're like,
lie
I've
to
got
us.
2 kids. We know you do.
fine.
Because we listen to your show.
Yeah. Oh my God, they got us. They know exactly what we're doing. Oh my God, what do we do? They
I
figured
know.
us out.
Yeah, but not all
You're
of
in the anxiety ball. Like, I can't go to 11sies.
Hold on. Do
I don't
you
even like Scotch eggs.
Hold on. Do you do
I
what
do like
most
that.
of
I know
our,
you love them.
most of our listeners are telling me they listen, but they only catch the clips on social media?
True.
And they don't listen to the
That's
whole
what we're
thing.
shooting for now.
We are at a time right now where being a fan of something is a lot more casual than you really think it
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
It truly, like all my Stranger Things people that are like, man, I love that show. It's like, are you up to date? Nah.
I'm 3 seasons behind.
Well, why? And the answer is the grand delusion. Yeah, there's just so much stuff out
Right.
there to
Yeah,
consume that none of us. And it's almost like I look at it like it's almost in the air. And what happens when you pack the air full of molecules? Right? We have no more room to breathe.
Right.
You know, there's not. Too
So
much
with
air.
that being said, I do like the fact that you guys
look good.
are doing seasons of your show. And,
Yes.
and that's a smart thing, especially nowadays. And like, I look at it, I'm like, God, me and Daniel should have done seasons.
You know why?
You can start.
When your show is never
we
ending.
built ourselves a prison.
When your show is never ending, people look at it and they're like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah,
I do. I look at our show. How many? We did like 10,000 episodes. I'm like, oh my God, shut up.
Plus, it gives us a break from each other for a good, solid couple of months.
Yeah.
We need a break.
We need that.
Oh, we do.
The holidays, we needed that. Really. God, get away from me. I love you. Here's a present.
We have no
John
break. Every day.
We are a chopper. No breaks.
Yes.
So, what season is this again?
Season 4.
Season 4
Yeah.
of Fish and Brits released today, correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
dropped today.
Correct. First
Season
episode.
4, typically when every show adds a black cast member.
We just don't show them. Here comes the Elevensies glasses. Thank you.
That's it.
Put a glove on. Yeah, you'll never know.
But he talks with a British accent to confuse everybody.
Oh my God. Holy crap, is that Benson? That's a joke for my dad. Benson was a great show. So of its time.
So when you do a podcast in seasons, do you look at each season as a little bit different than the prior season? How do you guys frame it?
Yeah, for this season, we definitely went back to. We took a reset and looked at the first 3 seasons, saw what worked, what didn't, what the best time, the amount of time for an episode was, and this is the one that we've refined the most out of our 4 seasons. We cut a segment that we'd driven to death. As you do. As you do.
Weird Job Wednesday, I see.
Okay, bye.
So yeah, that, and last season we added in video. We had a full YouTube episode that came out with it, so we're keeping that. And then trying to get a little more involvement from our crew, our production team in this one. For our Christmas special, we did all 4 members of the production team on the couch together. And so this season, they're going to pop in and out, which is a new thing for us.
Yeah, I like that. You can abuse when your staff is good. You bring them in, you're like, bloody hell.
We're just down there anyway. It's like, get over here.
Yeah. They play
sit next to him.
You send them out, you yell at them. We used to have a guy that did that. They don't last that long.
We have executive producer Ashley. She tells us what to do. But,
You need a woman to tell you what to do. We do have that.
Yeah.
That's key to every business. By the way.
That's why I've got him.
Yeah.
You gotta have a screaming woman.
Yep, exactly.
And then they keep you on track and everything. You complain. You're like, gah.
Yeah, but that's just the
They're pivotal
equation.
part of your business.
Yeah, that's just the equation. She's like, that thing you agreed to do for the clients? Well, you're late on it. You need to do it. And I'm like, this bitch.
She's doing her job. She's trying to help you.
I know. You're right. You're right.
So how many episodes in a season?
10 episodes.
Okay.
We do for a whole year. We have 2 seasons a year, spring and fall. Then we have our live show, which we add as an episode, a live episode, and then our Christmas special. So we do, what's that, 22 a year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 4 years in, one of the only podcasts that I know of that's still podcasting and doing the thing, and that's not shade or anything. It's just like, this is very hard to do. And if you're not successful at it, you will find very quickly that you should stop doing it because it can be an immense waste of time.
Right.
It's a lot of time.
Oh, yeah. Especially for him, because he does take on a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
So, like our Buffalo trip, like, we're driving over and he's editing on the laptop.
I was editing in the car on the way over
here,
here,
putting the film together and stuff like that. So, it is like, okay, where is this going? Are we getting the views? And then, you do the this. Oh, we're getting reviews. And then this week, wait, what happened there? Oh, wait, we're back. Oh, wait, what happened? You know what I mean? It's like a wave.
Do you get, were there any surprises as to what you guys thought would hang you up or be difficult in doing this? I mean, both of you are in the, I should say,
entertainment
world. But, were there any surprises that you found now that you're 4 years in? You're like, wow, I didn't know that, this was going to be this type of deal.
I found that, and this just might be my self-deprecating side come out, people we haven't had to focus so much in the last season on let's do a British topic, let's do this. It can be more just about us chatting, and people are actually interested in that. And they like that part. I didn't think that from the start. I thought our hook was going to be purely let's look at what's stupid in England this week. but they're more interested in what's stupid in our lives this week.
Especially when we skirt around what we do for a living. Like we work in the theme parks, but we just can't say what we do in the theme parks because of NDAs and stuff like that. But we kind of skirt around about a little bit to that, and then that gets like, oh, that's what you guys are. Oh,
yeah. The more personal you get with it, the more the audience is interested because
we've really found that.
Because and me and Daniel have realized that over the years of doing this. It's
I don't know what you're talking about.
And especially audio too, which is interesting too, because there's a big difference between the people that consume it audio version and the people consume it video, and there's like a little bit of divide between that, and some people prefer one and the other. But the audio, when people are listening to the audio, is very a personal experience for them because usually it involves them in their car, on a walk, walking their dog, doing the dishes, whatever they get in their routine of being able to listen to audio.
Yeah.
So then
like it or not, that's intimate.
So then they got you guys in their ears, and they're hearing you guys talk.
That's why we do heavy breathing.
And then through that, and then obviously you're talking about generalized topics and stuff, but you get a little personal, then all of a sudden you're touching someone, and then
hey.
you're connecting.
It's 4D.
Well, you're connecting with them. All of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm kind of like that. I'm kind of like Wayne. I'm kind of like Adam. Like you start to see personality traits in that, and which is basic human psychology, where you start connecting with someone, and then that connection is super strong, especially if and then they start going back to hear the personal experiences of your life, the personal connection that they have with you, especially because it's a very intimate one-on-one thing. They're alone in their car by themselves in the car, whatever they're doing. It's very personal. You are talking directly to one person in their mind.
Also, as like an anxiety guy, I don't know. No, I like what you're saying. Man.
No, makes sense.
I don't know if either of you guys are anxiety men like I am. But I find something and I'll use the example of like red, green, and like, what was it, Harrison Keeler, like Wilbegon, like these little, like at a time when the internet has made the world so huge to me, like it's like endless, right? Like I can pick up my phone and literally I'm connected to everything in the world. It's cool to slough all that sort of off and shrink your world down to two guys.
Yep.
Adam and Wayne, Tom and Dan, and their world. It's the epitome of, we had an Army listener of ours that's, was talking about anxiety. He's like, man, keep your world small and you won't have to worry about that. And to me, it represents that, so these shows that kind of have this make-believe world, not to say that our lives are make-believe, but it is it's an exaggerated, different version, and people can kind of live in our little world, and it's controlled, and it's quaint, and it's intimate, and it's smaller, and it's not endless and scary.
I was once given a note by a director from one of the things that we do that keep modern day jokes and references and pop culture references out of things because people, for that particular product, because people wanted to come to forget all of that stuff. They wanted something localized, so precise that they could just step away from all the stuff in the world. And even a joke about television, about film or music, something like that was a slight anachronism, pulled them out immediately from what we were trying to give to them.
It doesn't make sense, and also I've learned the value in being honest. It is
finally,
and by being honest, it's just being real. Like,
I'm not there yet.
Bad, good, just the honesty of, because that too will form a connection to your audience.
Or knowing, like we're very, like I'm sure you guys are too, and you are. About you're very, we're very honest about our flaws, or the things that make us who we are.
I mean, we have a therapist as our sponsor for the show.
For a reason.
So speaking of that, and not to go on a different direction, but I learned the other day from my wife that you can go into Instagram and then and we'll explain how to do it, but look at your algorithm. And they basically put it out in subjects and in your Instagram that you could actually delete certain things and you can start manipulating your own algorithm, which I didn't know was a thing. And so you can, well, I'll go over right now.
All right, you want me to tell people how to do it?
Yeah.
All right,
Mine's in my pocket. I'm not moving.
Yeah,
I'm just not comfortable.
If you're looking at
Show
your
me later.
Instagram,
Shall I look at mine or Fish and Britz's? Let's look at mine.
Yeah,
look at yours.
yeah, because a personal one
Yeah.
is interesting because I have stuff on that I'm not even that interested in. It just somehow ended up becoming.
oh yeah, I'm not that interested. I don't know.
What did you do, Tom? Click one video, accidentally click that video.
For some reason, on my Reddit page, I seem to be obsessed with Rate My Face videos, which are just pictures of young girls giving the link to their OnlyFans. That's why I'm just sharing.
Yeah.
I'm being honest.
Sharing and caring.
Okay, tap your face at the bottom corner.
Yeah, your bottom right hand
All
corner.
right, go up to the top right-hand corner and hit the 3 lines.
The hamburger.
Yeah, hit the hamburger, and then you go...
That's called a hamburger?
Yeah, that's what the kids call it.
Weird.
Is it be sideways French fries? What the hell?
It's a thin hot dog.
I think you mean sideways freedom fries.
4 hot dogs bar.
If you go to what you see, scroll down, you'll see what you see, and then it says content preferences. If you click on content preferences, at the very top, you'll see a line that says your algorithm. And if you click on that, it will then sort of sum up in bold what you've been looking at.
I don't get what you see.
Well, what you see is a kind of a subcategory in the thing.
here.
If you go down to preferences.
Look, I'll show you. Okay,
yeah.
Here's where you're at. Right?
Yeah.
So scroll down just a little bit, and then it'll say down what you see.
Oh, I see. Yes.
And then content preferences.
Content preferences.
So the content preferences is actually
All right.
the tab. The what you see is just like a grayed out category.
Your algorithm.
And then you click on your algorithm, and then
This is accurate.
and then you can.
I don't want to look at it.
No. I have memes, musical theater, British humor, Disney World, Stranger Things, mindfulness, and the Traders. That's
great, man.
isn't that good?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I'll take that.
I'm not opening mine.
Mine is lately you've been into pursuing music dreams, country vibes, and navigating parenthood.
Hey,
Wow.
There you
All
go.
right.
I am in no way trying to leave this show to be a country music star, if that's what that's trying to imply. I am taking online guitar lessons.
Oh, yeah?
So maybe that's why I got the.
That's it.
All right.
I am not pursuing music dreams. I'm just trying to understand what the hell I'm playing.
I'm
Yes.
gonna add-
I would make the argument you are kind of pursuing music dreams and like playing the pedal steel guitar, learning, begin betting.
I got
you
an
got one?
update. No, I got an update on that. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but I had ordered a pedal steel guitar from a company. I did so much research, and I did research for months and months and months and months. And there's a gentleman, Del Mullen, who makes Mullen steel guitars. I think I believe they're out of Colorado. I think so. Or they could be anyway, they're all out of weird places, and they're all handmade. He passed away like in the middle of like engineering my guitar. So I
remember when you told me this, and you were like, "I'm out the money because what the hell am I do now?" You know?
I got an email back from him, and they're way
From
behind.
him?
No, I wish that'd be awesome, right? I'd be like, I'm not
Get him on
telling
Zoom.
anyone.
From heaven?
And what a show! What a TV show!
What a
right?
Zoom.
Dan and Del.
Well, maybe
on
hell.
the. We'll make it like an '80s sitcom. No, they emailed me. They're sweet women. Emailed me, the shop ladies, and they're like, "We're doing it. We're
wow.
about 18 months behind, but we're doing it." And
All
I'm
right.
like,
Oh, that's
I said,
awesome.
"I'm sorry for your loss. I love you. Thank you for the email." And I'll wait patiently, and God bless, because they've been through. I guess their original shop manager died, and then like a few months later, Dell passed away.
man.
So they've not had a good run. But anyway,
Right.
so I'm getting my guitar in
it
like
a murder?
in a couple more years.
Well, yeah, if they're able to do it,
Yeah.
because I would too email like, "I'm trying to do it," but you know,
But he left no instructions. We're just putting metal to metal.
the founder, he was the guy that was doing it.
Yeah.
I'd be worried being one of the people still working there. The founder's gone, he's gone. I'm like, who's next to this
Well,
one? That's-
everybody that works there is in their 60s.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
that's-
because
like
they're
the-
building steel guitars.
The lady
It's time
at the-
limited.
I think the lady who ran the desk, there are like pictures of her on there. Her name is like Dixie. Of course.
Of course she is.
And then I think she even passed away. It's like
boy.
they're, the
Well, good luck.
turnover there.
Good luck getting it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Gonna be
But
great.
yeah, no, I am. I'm. My algorithm is correct. That's pretty good.
I did just add Beer and the Spice Girls into mine.
Okay,
Of course you did.
Pretty good.
So
pretty good.
this is
Oh,
ridiculous.
that reminds me. Can we circle back around to the Beckhams?
Sure.
Yes.
Why not?
Okay,
We're
let's
here.
start when
Talk about
Tom's
whatever.
done with his algorithm.
It says, lately you've been flying high, carving down mountains, and pushing your running limits. Like, this guy's awesome.
Oh, wow. Hey, everybody.
Who's that guy?
Extreme sports stand.
Somebody else's
I'd
algorithm.
hire that guy. Whether you get me. Oh,
I love how Tom's algorithm is, lately you've been the raddest dude on the beach.
and it says,
What?
And it says, what I'm into is it aviation.
Hey, Brad, dude, if you're not flying planes or surfing, you're hanging 10 in Hawaii, badass.
It says aviation, marathon training, strength and conditioning, startup, satire, South Florida, Formula One, science,
Formula One.
science, and Tesla.
So exciting.
Wait, science?
The cars.
This guy.
I think it's listening to Daniel's algorithm, too.
This sounds like a man who wants an F1 car going through the White House.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's so exciting.
So speedy, so fast.
I don't have a lot of time to watch, but so exciting.
And so the reason why this even got brought up is because my wife started not getting funny videos anymore. She's just like, comedy, right?
Where's my racist video?
So she's like, I found the videos I'm getting, the reels, because she just uses Instagram. The reels weren't funny to her anymore. So she's like, something's got screwed up in my algorithm. So she went in and erased everything, and now she's trying to manipulate it back by looking.
You can't do that.
She's trying to look at all the funny videos she sent all her friends and only look at those videos to try
if they're coming back.
Yeah, to try to build back. And I'm like, that's weird. I've never even like
She's cloning her algorithm, but it's going to be a little... Right? Like it's going to be missing some chromosomes because it's not natural. It's going to be a little off.
Yeah. How does that work?
It's going to be just a little
What
bit.
a weird
Every
thing.
filter just came dropping down. Stop it.
Like it's not as racist as you wanted it to be.
Yeah, you're like,
it used to be better.
What happened to the good racism?
It's weird. We live in a world and now you could do this, and I never even thought about like going in there and purposefully manipulating your own algorithm to give you what you want.
I'm
because
surprised they're able to look at it, honestly.
It's a good April Fool's trick.
Because
Someone's phone stays open.
Because here's what's weird.
Sinister, dude.
What you think you want may not be what you really want.
Right.
And that's weird, too.
Well, what you should have, right? Like, honestly, I should go in there and really eliminate anything that's going to waste time.
Right.
You know, like, so I shouldn't put anything on there that's naturally going to make me want to stay
like
on
all
the device.
the girls and like the sexuality stuff.
I got rid of a lot of that naturally just because of my daughter peeking over my shoulder. And most dads, I think, you know, some of them, the ones that are holding fast to your booby algorithm, God bless you, but, you know, I had to drive that up.
That's why I put the Spice Girls on there, because it tells you what you want, what you really, really want.
You got the goods, Adam.
This is what we that's what I have to deal with.
I have been planning that one for 30 seconds.
Literally held a dad joke in his algorithm like a magician. Like an
When you
illusionist.
first said Spice Girls, you started that joke, didn't you?
I did.
I knew it.
Sure did.
Love it.
Well, let's talk about the Spice Girls, because Daniel has been telling me that the whole Beckham family is a mess.
Oh, it's
Yes.
crazy.
It's a
I don't know how we're going to make it out.
Now, they
It's
haven't called us in a little while, so we're not fully up to date.
Come on, David.
It's a decent uproar, though, when you have your... Is he the eldest? Is that Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And Brooklyn Beckham goes on, I guess, X or Instagram or whatever, and he just basically outlines a bunch of things that he deemed inappropriate from his parents and their behavior towards his wife.
He just rails off against them.
And he goes off and he's like, he basically, and in a weird way, and I think this is true, he denounced them and he basically said, I don't want to reconcile and I do not want to be a part of this family any longer.
Yeah.
And I think we can all agree that this is exactly what you want coming out of your son's mouth if you're a dad.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
He is the Prince Harry.
I thought we were doing okay.
of
I thought we were doing all right, but he doesn't like me.
So I think
David Beckham.
I like that. I like your Beckham.
First time I did that.
So
that's good.
for all
On
of
the
us,
dome.
and this is a horrible trait that we all have, by the way, that when we see this, it kind of makes us like, all right, like,
No, right. I like how you got British there. Oh, right. I tell you what, Dave. Right. All right.
It humanizes them, and where you think like, oh, these rich and famous people have the perfect lives, and then you see where it's not, and then it makes you feel better.
This looks very
it's
British
kind of sad.
hillbilly.
Right.
This looks like a British hillbilly.
It's kind of sad that it makes you feel better, but it does because it makes you realize no matter the rich and famousness of it, like everybody has problems, and like you know,
there's
everybody.
some solid Schadenfreude about it.
Yeah,
It's
drama. And then for these, like, and then obviously, like, Victoria Beckham was like sexy dancing, or like the
At the
rumor
wedding,
was-
the
Hold
pictures
on.
were crazy, like
That's
B-boy style posing on the wedding dress.
That's the part I like.
Son.
Because
that was funny.
I've always had a thing. I mean, cue me up for a little algorithm Spice Girls as well. Because I've always had a thing for her and just how everything apparently she, like the resting bitch face on her is just so good.
She invented it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
Major.
She's posh, right?
Oh, yeah.
Posh, yeah.
As crazy as it sounds, sexy dancing with your son at your son's wedding.
That's Florida.
That's full Mar-a-Lago.
And here's the thing, but that I've heard of this happening before.
Yeah.
In a smaller scale, like I've heard there's been a joke.
Yeah, did your mom sexy dance on you?
It's in my algorithm.
That, like, and here's the thing: that's sexy is subjective. So it's like she may just be dancing like she always does, and then the whole crowd deemed it to be like inappropriate.
Well, the DJ came out and said that he didn't think it was inappropriate. He thought it was just stealing the spotlight. Brooklyn is the one that said that his mom was sexy dancing.
Which that sounds a problem for Brooklyn more than anyone else. There's a little bit of Oedipus going on.
Yeah. But nobody else said. Honestly, I don't think it's reported from anybody else that was there that even happened. I don't know if that really happened, to tell you the truth.
But if you're just not doing the old school 1950s hand on the waist, hand on the shoulders, sway back and forth, and you're actually like, you know, she's a performer, and then it could be viewed as like, especially that. I mean, could you imagine who's at that wedding? A bunch of rich and other famous people. You know,
everybody's at that wedding.
All of their friends, none of the kids.
They're turning their nose up at it. They're like, "Ooh, this is trashy." You know,
What?
She comes from a trashy fan background, right? Or like,
No, I
like
think
poor.
she was pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, was she always rich?
Yeah, she was the.
Okay.
It was him, David, who came from the lower and worked his way up.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So he didn't come from any supermarket.
She
I
came
think her
from
dad had a
Daddy's
Rolls
money.
Royce. Yeah, Daddy had a Rolls Royce, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, there's a funny clip of them. Yeah, we'll go on. Tell them what kind of car Dad drove you to school in. Well, it was a Rolls Royce, but you know. Okay, it's only the most expensive car in all of England.
Yeah, how about
it's not a, you know.
Yeah, how about a green LeSabre?
A Morris Minor.
There you go.
Yeah, I think an 83 green LeSabre with vinyl interior.
A Mini Cooper.
I wonder why we do that. Like when we see a celebrity, because immediately, like knowing that she used to be rich, if for some reason knocks her down a peg or two, and the celebrity, like the valuation of her as a celebrity, which is weird because who cares?
A lot of celebrities started like that. Tom Segura. Some people say Burt Kreischer because his dad was super rich when he started.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, it's become a target for people that are famous. They're like, well, you started rich.
Yeah.
You know, it's a thing.
Yeah. And
The
I guess,
Nepo baby thing, you know, all of that.
yeah, but I guess what does it matter if then, like, to get famous, though, you can't buy your way into it per se.
Can you?
I don't know. Like, I think you can.
I think you can.
In the actor world, you could use your parents as like connections to get you into movies. Maybe
I think you can buy almost anything. Like that when that article came out this week, where Timothy Chalamet, whatever his name is,
That is correct.
yeah, where he said he spent his own money to perform those two Dylan songs on Saturday Night Live, and he spent like six figures of his own money to do it.
Yeah.
Which is to me ridiculous because it's like. That's dumb, and you know I'm not a big fan of the guy. But I was just like, yeah, you can buy anything. Like, why would Saturday Night Live do that?
Well, I guess he's looking at it as marketing, so he's already rich and famous. So then it's like he's now just investing more money into the marketing of it. But it's like, before that, it's like you can't get popular, even like a Burt Kreischer. Like he goes to UF and then gets his fame through, you know, the Van Wilder thing, then starts, you know, touring, and we saw his grind. You know what I'm saying?
But the argument is that he had the way and means to be able to F off. And not everybody has, right?
Yeah, he had the background already, so he's like, I don't have to go to work because, I got this money on the side already.
Right. Yeah. Most everybody else can't Van Wild out because they have to hold a job down.
Yeah. The real luxury that you're paying for is time more than anything. It's
the time to invest into your entertainment career.
Yeah, which is why we do seasons, because otherwise we're grinding in the theme parks, you know what I mean? Or whatever gig is coming up for me, you know.
Well said. And season 4 starts today.
Yeah, today.
Yep, drops at 4 a.m. today.
4 a.m.
Season 4 on the 4th at 4.
There you go.
And, are all the episodes, they're not all recorded yet, right? Or are they?
No, we record each week.
Okay, all right.
So we recorded our episode in Buffalo this week, and that'll be the one that's released next week. So.
Awesome.
Cool.
In the snow.
Well, Wayne, Adam, thanks so much for coming by.
Guys, thanks for always having us in here to promote our stuff.
And then, of course, you could just search Fish and Brits. It's on all podcasts.
It's in everybody's algorithm.
Yep.
Where would you prefer people find you?
That's a good question.
Social-wise, we enjoy Instagram and YouTube. Facebook is going down. But no, just catch us on wherever you get your podcasts.
Baby. Yeah, we're on everything.
Awesome.
Everything.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here.
We appreciate you guys. Thanks very much.
Good luck on season 4. We will be right back.